Hello, hello, hello. This is Attorney Mike Gravel coming to you from Chicago as usual. And as you can see, I have none other than Big and Two here with me. Say hello, Big and Two.
How's it you all doing?
So today, he sends me, what was it? He sent me a message about Judge Marable's courtroom.
Yes.
And I was recording the same thing.
Exactly.
I have it in there. Don't worry. I have it in there. That particular moment, I mean, there's a lot of fun stuff in there. It's just the mayhem. You saw a lot of it. But that was Katrina going off. So there is a Hurricane Katrina sighting tonight.
Yeah, she was getting angry.
Yeah, she was getting angry. Although I have to admit, I understand why.
Yes.
The call is going nowhere. People are yakking in the background. You know, it's the 67th District Court. That's what happens.
Yeah.
So we get to going back and forth. And I just wanted to bring you on today to thank you. And also, we just had this chat. I wanted to force him onto a live. But we're talking about that, and it was afternoon, so I'm recording that. And he's like, I got the morning. Do you want it? Well, hell yes, I want it. Send it over to me. And I did. I took a good clip. I don't know which one. You sent me a few, but there's a good 20 minutes in there.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, it's like herding cats in that place. I don't see how they get anything done.
So, is this your official debut for live?
Yes, this is the very first.
I thought so, but I didn't quite ask you that. Oh, Nardini, how you doing? So here he is. I know a lot of you have been to his channel. I know a lot of you like his channel. I told him just come on and say hi. I wasn't going to keep him because it is my understanding that you're in the middle of editing.
Yeah,
as us creators pretty much continuously are.
They'll be surprised. They realize how much we do.
Yeah. So I don't want to keep you from that, but it was great to have you on. He sent me clips. He's been awesome to me. We chat back and forth. He gave me some Georgia background, all that good stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Well, y'all have fun.
All right. We will see you soon. I'm going to have you back on, but I will call this a big success.
I appreciate you having me on.
All right. Thank you. All right, well, let's get this party started, shall we?
Wait, state your name again?
Emma Alonso.
Spell that, please.
ALONZEAU.
Spell your first name.
Emma, EMMA. Middle initial is J.
Okay,
come with me on a magic journey. We did this last time. Oh, it's a mess. It's mostly landlord tenant. We have some other stuff. Only Judge Marable. A Judge Marable parable, as you guys say in the comments. Where you have to watch out for the cats. That's the important thing in Marable's courtroom.
Is Constance Burton it is another defendant, or Melanie?
Yes, we're here.
Dumbaya. I need you each to identify yourselves.
Constance Burton. Spell your name, Mama. CONSTANCE. Burton. BURTON. Melanie Dumbia. Melanie MELANIE. D as in dog, OUM. B as in boy, IA.
Okay, so let me go to Ms. Burton and Ms. Dumbia. Do you understand that you do have the right to be represented by an attorney?
Yes.
Do you understand you might be able to get an attorney free of charge from Legal Services of Eastern Michigan?
Yes, and I've been calling legal services. No one have returned my call as of yet. When I first called legal services, she said that they had a extremely backed up situation, so they will get to us. No one hasn't returned my call yet.
Yeah, you see, they're a little short staffed because nobody pays them. See how that works?
Well, I know that they've got attorneys switching around from different units in their office. I know that's, going on. So
Yeah.
I believe that. And that's a consistent theme we've heard all day. But nevertheless, they might be, so you do want, you're seeking their representation is what you're telling me.
Yeah.
In other words, you've got to call into them and they just haven't returned it yet.
Yes.
Okay. So you're anticipating
I'm anticipating. Yes, we are anticipating to get to be represented by a lawyer, but also it's more to it than just a lawyer, because me and Miss Alonso spoke, and we don't want to contact her. We have more contact than her and my mom, because my mom is 78 and she's sickly. So Miss Emma, the mouth, she let me know that she was going to be doing the repairs of the house. Your Honor, this house is really under code, but she said to give her a year to get the house to her, to where she will, where she will live in it. So I'm assuming this is where she will want to live, because she hasn't did anything. And every time I called, she made it seem like I was a problem to her. Like,
I'm assuming she'd like to get rent.
Telling her there's leaks in the basement and everything, but she sent bootleg people over here to do stuff, and everything that they have done has fell apart.
Thank you. I wasn't picking it up
the socket
the
in the
first
kitchen
time.
behind the refrigerator is completely out, and I don't know what to do about that. That's a fire hazardous. But we're gonna move. I just need some time, because I have my mother. She's 78. Miss Alonso gave me a year to do something. Everything was a process.
Okay, hang on just a second. Miss Alonso, you have the opportunity to respond.
Well, I would just like my home back. I do have repairs to do to it. I have maintained it, though in livable condition, I felt.
I'm one of the few people on the internet who has a naked sandwich fund, but I'm kind of proud of that.
I have asked the tenants to give me a list of things that need to be done, and we have spoken about things over the phone that need to be done, and I'm in the process of trying to get those things done. But I'm having a little bit of trouble getting in there with them there and scheduling things.
No, you're not, because anytime you have somebody come, anytime.
Wait a minute. Did Miss Angelou interrupt you when you were talking?
Forgive me.
Did she do that?
I apologize.
This is so awkward.
Don't do that.
I apologize, Your Honor, to you.
You need to apologize to her.
I apologize.
I accept your apology.
Okay, go ahead, Miss Angelou.
If you haven't hit like and subscribe, I just want you to know that you're hurting Jack's feelings.
So what I'm saying,
Go ahead.
aside from the fact that they've told me that they do not want to rent the place because it's not in good condition, the way that they would expect, which told me that I could expect them to move out. Mm-hmm. Well, they've not moved or told me when they want to move. They did assess to me that I had to give them how much time they wanted, and I asked them to give me a date or some more information within a week of when we had that particular conversation back in June. Was that July? It was July. They never contacted me again. And whenever I called them, they don't answer. And when I send people over there, they don't necessarily answer the phone then either in order to do maintenance. As well as there's other problems with the maintenance trying to schedule it too. But that's also one of the problems that I'm having right now. But I have completed a year's lease with them. I didn't have a problem with them being tenants. They've been pretty good, very good tenants. But I understood that they did not want to rent the place again.
Your Honor, may I
well,
speak
hang on
now?
a second. I'm trying to find the notice to quit, and I'm looking for it.
It's in your packet,
You know,
sir, Judge.
I'm looking. I'm not finding it yet. I'm looking.
I'll find it in the packet and let me see.
Your Honor, may I speak on that? She has sent everybody that she sent over here. We was here. She has a property manager, Miss Janet. Miss Janet she should have been on this call too, because she's been A1 with us and we've been A1 with her. We the one, anything that got done, it got done through
A1.
her. Everybody that she sent over here, the men that was bootleg men, they came, but they didn't do what they were supposed to do. The men that she had, the contractors, the real contractors, she said, no, she's not paying for that. The man came in about this furnace. She said she's not getting a new furnace. The new windows, we got mold around the tub, Your Honor. My mother has an upper respiratory infection. I have to keep bleach around that tub every day. You know, I don't have a problem with paying Ms. Emma, but Ms. Emma's problem is she wanted us to sign this new lease, but she didn't do anything. The only thing she did was enough for them, the inspectors, to come in to pass to get her renter's license. That's the only thing she did. And she's constantly sitting up here telling a story saying that we never here. It's somebody.
That's the only thing she did, because that's the only thing she needs to do. Now, if you don't like it, move.
Here at all times. Miss Janet contacts me. I contacts Miss Janet. Me and Miss Janet have sat here all day waiting on some men that she said that was coming, and they never came. So Miss Alonso, you're telling a story, and you know you are, but it's okay with that because yes, we want to move. I just have middle of November, close to the end, we'll be out of here. But she's fibbing. The main thing is she wanted to go up on the rent 4 months after we got here, and that wasn't gonna happen.
Okay, hang on. Let me say this, ma'am. Okay, I don't know. I'll say this to all of you. I don't know what the problem is with you all scheduling and making contact with each other.
She's out of time.
I'm telling you. Can I? Yeah, well, look, you can alleviate some of the contact issues if you send an email or send a text or whatever. That's proof, the date and time that you got, that you're notifying about an issue, or, a repair person's going to come out. You all need to utilize, your text messaging and your emails or something along those lines. That's what you need to do.
Right, but Your Honor, she got a property manager. That's who we was contacting and was contacting us. Wasn't even going through her, because every time I call her when we first got here, the whole cabinet was leaking. And she said, well, what's now?
Ma'am, do you know that on email and texting you can copy multiple people at the same time?
Yes, because that's how she was doing it. So Miss Janet, her property manager, can vouch for every time she sent somebody over here, they never showed. And then when they did, they came at 7, 8, and 9 o'clock at night.
So what? That's when they come a lot of times. They're coming to fix your place.
Okay. Well, let me say this, okay? It's probably inconvenient if somebody comes over at 7 p.m. or 8 p.m.
Yes, sir.
But you know what? If they're there to get the repair done,
Happy birthday,
I can deal with a little bit of inconvenience.
And I did that.
I understand.
I did that for 2 months straight. Judge. I did that. I have a sickly mother, though.
Thank you.
My mom be laid down at a certain time, and I didn't have no problem with it. I let Mr. Jake come in and do whatever he needed to do, even on a Sunday. I let him come in. I never turned nobody around.
I really think that you guys have to work that out in terms of
At least it
what
wasn't
time of the day and what days you want. I mean, scheduling, you guys got to work out between yourselves. You really do.
I did that with Miss Janet.
I'm not going to monitor scheduling the repairs. You guys ought to be able to do that.
Yes, sir.
Now, other issues, if there's a furnace that's not working, well, in Michigan, the furnace has to work between October 1st and March 31st. In all 83 counties, you got to have a working furnace.
She said
you got to have a working
She said she wasn't going to get the furnace fixed because it was workable. But Your Honor, if you come and go in that basement, you see all the wires hanging like they hanging, you'll be scared. When we first got here, my mother was in here dying because we had a bad gas leak, a bad one. All she said was, "Oh, I apologize, guys, you guys." You know, my mother, I mean, she loved the house, but she catching it. We catching it over here, and we done everything we can. And then like I said, I contact the property manager because that's what, well, anything you have, you contact Miss Janet. She's my property manager. So I don't understand why Miss Janet wasn't involved in this call.
Okay, well.
Would you like me to respond?
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm adjourning it to November 9th at 9:30 so that the defendants can speak to legal services or whomever they want. Do you have the number for legal services?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you all need to get right on top of that.
You
already did. You already did.
Yes, sir. I'm going to call back today.
Okay. If I were you, if there are repairs that are still outstanding, I would send an email or a text that, where you detail everything that's wrong and that you guys get on top of, getting the repairs done. Whether you stay or you don't stay, the property needs to be repaired if it's going to be rented out.
Exactly. Now, but when we tell her.
Now, the other thing I'm going to say before I say goodbye to you all is that, again, this furnace issue is serious. If there's not a working furnace, that requires immediate kind of attention.
Okay, but you've made that assumption. We've had one person tell their side of the story. Even within that story, she said that the landlord says it works. You assume it doesn't and just absolutely go after her. You'll see.
So is the furnace working or not?
The furnace work, it comes on when it get ready to come on.
Oh, there we go. We even have the tenant saying it works, but he never switches. He assumes the worst of the tenant as he always does. I mean, the landlord.
We could be sitting in here and it probably be cold. It won't pop right on, Your Honor. When they came and looked at the furnace, that man said that she needs a new furnace. He told her, she said she ain't getting no new furnace, just as well as she said she wasn't putting no windows in here. We can't even open up no windows. We don't have no circulation in here.
Judge Marable.
What do you mean you can't open the windows? Tell me about that.
Because she had Jake come to put.
It's clear to me that the tenants of Genesee County know how to work the grift. They know what happens if you get in this room, and all you have to do is say mold, circulation, heat, and Judge Marable will assume that you're telling the truth and absolutely hammer the landlord, no matter what the actual facts are.
Up the storm window because that was part of the inspection. And when they came and put the storm windows in, when they came to fix the windows, he put some kind of way, he put storm windows on storm windows. So when we try to open up the window, we get the storm window. So we can't even pull up a storm window or take the storm window out because it's hard. And I don't want to break nothing in her property. I don't want to break it. So it's like we don't have no circulation at all, Your Honor.
See, it's all about her concern for the landlord, which I think is touching.
In this house, and whoever was renting here, the house was empty 5 years before we got it. And when we got in here, whoever stayed in here was so nasty to the point to, like, when it rained, it smelled so bad in here. You know, it smelled bad.
What would that have to do with the prior tenants, honestly?
Just can't keep uprooting my mother. You know what I'm saying?
Judge, I need to speak. This is Emma Alonso.
Yeah, what is it that you want to say?
I just want to say that I'm not trying to rent to them any longer. Their lease expired. I'm trying to rent my house out again, but yes, I do need to do repairs. But I don't intend to rent it to them. They did not show any interest in renting it from me.
Well, we was paying you rent every month. We gave you rent every month. You only gave us August rent back. We paid you, and then you gonna say, "Oh, I was unaware that you didn't want to rent the house because
you're supposed to pay every rent every month. That's how a lease works. You are also living in the house every month. Oh my God, it's hard for me to take, but you know the judge sides with him.
You didn't sign the lease. Well, I was unaware that you.
Look.
You was getting your money every month.
I've adjourned it to November 9th, and I may, I wish I had the mediator today to let you guys talk about it. But this furnace and circulation, that's got to get addressed. Okay?
Here I am addressing that, Judge, but I'm not addressing it with these tenants.
Okay, that's fine because you've been in the process.
Listen to me. Listen to me, Ms.
I'm sorry,
listen to me, Ms. Alonso. Listen to me.
What I mean is,
you don't understand. The calendar has caught you. You have to have a furnace capable of maintaining 68 degrees between October 1st and March 31st in Michigan. That is the law.
The furnace is in the repairable, not a repairable mode. It is workable. The furnace is workable, sir. I've had people over there checking it out, just like she said. But that was on the old.
The furnace is not. It's not working correctly.
I was having this worked on the old lease. All of this work done. I had a lot of work done. They say I didn't.
Ma'am, you're missing my point. Never mind the lease. Expired.
There is no lease,
if there are people still in there.
Never mind the lease expires. I still don't know what we're in on. I think this is supposed to be an eviction, but I don't even know because they never say it. But he's saying, never mind the lease. We're here about the damn lease. I can't believe that came out of his mouth. Then he proceeds to assume that the furnace doesn't work, despite the fact that she told him and the tenant told him it does.
If there are people still in there between those dates, you got to repair it.
They are trespassing, sir. They have no lease with me.
Okay, ma'am.
I have no agreement with them to be there.
No.
Okay, here's where she needs an attorney. They're not trespassing. They're holdover tenants is what it appears right now. But since we never get to the substance of the hearing, I can't figure it out.
Oh, Ms. Alonso, you don't understand. I didn't pick those dates out of the air. That's the law in Michigan. And that is also a part of the city ordinance in Flint.
When they were there between those dates that
it's a part of the Michigan Building Code. That is a part of the Michigan Mechanical Code.
The furnace was working, sir, when they were there between the dates that you've stated. The furnace was working then. Now,
October 1st was a couple of weeks ago. So
that lease was expired. The lease that they are under is expired.
Ma'am, you don't get it.
They don't have a lease with me.
You're not understanding me. You don't get it.
They're not supposed to be
you don't
there,
get
sir.
it. This is what I'm going to do. No. This is what I'm going to do.
And they're not supposed to be in it.
Your Honor, she even threatened to tell us she would have our electric cut off.
You don't understand. You don't understand. This is not, you are not getting it. This is what I'm doing. I am adjourning this matter until today is the 12th of October. We are coming back here Tuesday, the 18th. That'll be at 9:15. And what I need to do an order. Are you in South Carolina?
I live in South Carolina. Yes, sir.
She has.
Well, how do you know firsthand what's going on with the furnace?
I do have someone who is looking after
forgot
the
about
property
that.
for me. I actually have two people who are looking after it.
We only know one, and that's Miss Janet.
I did not get them involved in this because this is regarding a lease that has expired and repossession
Ma'am,
of my
I am ordering you to have by October 18, 2022 at 9:15 to have a professional licensed HVAC person to come out and inspect that furnace.
I don't mind doing that, sir, but I do need them out of the home.
You don't mind? It's a court order. You have to.
I'm sorry. I will definitely abide by it. But these people, I mean, my tenants need to.
I don't
allow
want to
me to
hear you
possess-
say it's about the lease. I don't want
They
to hear
allow
you
me
say
to-
that again.
I think the judge is completely out of line here, not making sense on both fronts. He's yelling at her. She said, "I don't mind about what you've ordered," and he yells at her for that. And then he says it's not about the lease. I don't know what it's about because we never discussed the substance of what this is on. I don't know if this is a status or wrongful detainer action. I mean, if they're trying to get occupancy or what it is, because we never get to it. But he is sua sponte ordering her to get an inspection based upon mixed testimony that actually favors the landlord. I don't know what he's yelling about.
Repossess my home.
I don't want to hear you say that. You don't understand your legal obligation here.
I don't have tenants to be legal obligated to right now, sir.
Your Honor, she threatened to have our utilities shut off, and they're not even in her name.
70% off. Self-care.com today. Wait my car at drive time.
See, the word is out. They know exactly how to manipulate him.
Give you flexible financing.
There's somebody joining the meeting who's on a phone and they don't realize they're back up.
You need to have this HVAC inspection done no later than October 17, 2022. And they need to have a report or they need to be available to testify.
My best guess is that this is what we in Illinois call a forcible detainer action or an action for possession is what I think they're calling it in Michigan. Whatever. And he's saying, oh, it's not about the lease. It's all about the lease, whether or not it exists, whether or not they're rightfully in the premises. But I'm only guessing that because as the case is called, we never get to it. He just lets this tenant ramble forever, then decides that the heater's not working, despite the fact that literally both the tenant and landlord testify that it does.
Okay, sir, did you ever find the notice to quit? It's dated
Yes, I
August
did.
19, 2020.
I found it. I did find it.
Got two of them back to back.
Yes, I did send out plenty of notifications. I papered everything pretty much.
But we
to
was
them.
also steady paying our rent, and she was steady collecting.
Okay, that's it. That's
We
it.
were steady
Thank
living
We're
you,
going
the
to
Your
talk
Honor.
about this Tuesday.
Thank you.
Did you give a time for Tuesday yet, sir?
Yeah, it's going to be Tuesday at 9:15, October 18th. And let me do this. I think I want to get email addresses for everybody.
Oh, good Lord.
So, Ms. Angela, do you have an email?
Do you want it text to you? I just want me to tell you what it is.
Ms. Angela, just tell me, just spell it out for me.
Okay. Z is in zebra again. P is in Paul. D is in apple. At AOL.com.
What? D is in Apple.
D is in dog. I'm sorry.
She says D is an apple. It's hilarious. I actually like Maribel's response, but he says he says G is an apple. Only this court.
Okay. All right. I'll say it again. At AOL.com.
Okay, Ms. Burton, what's your email?
gmail.com.
Spell it out. Miss Dumbia,
gmail.com, the number 3.
we don't have phone numbers for Burton or Dumbia.
Burton is
Hello.
Burton is 8.
Okay, Dumbia. Okay, I'll have to write this up. Okay, we're probably, I've told you the date from the bench here, the date
Yes.
and time that we're adjourned to, and you need to know that we're probably also going to email you a notice, a copy of the order.
Be an
That's
apple,
fine.
and on the back, make it make
All
sense.
right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You need to put this on the record.
Hello. Hello.
Too good.
Yeah, I'm gone.
We're not
Thank
going
you.
to your manner
Bye.
yet. Everyone on Zoom needs to be quiet.
Do we have, who's the defense attorney?
Judge, both of the attorneys are here. If you'd like to call that.
Yeah, I am gonna call.
Put it on the record.
I'm gonna
Ready to go.
Okay.
Thank you.
Where's the defendant? In the lockup? Okay, all right, here we go. This is People of the State of Michigan versus Antonio Lee Gaddis, case 22T02683FY. Enter your appearance.
Sunny Stiles on behalf of the people.
Michael Prescott on behalf of Mr. Gaddis.
The counts are discharge of a firearm at or in a building. Felony firearm is count 2. Count 3 is assault with intent to do great bodily harm less than murder. Count 4 is carrying a concealed weapon. Count 5 is assault with a dangerous weapon. Count 6 is felony firearm. And count 7 is domestic violence. All right. So today is supposed to be the date and time set for, no, yesterday was the exam date. Or is it today?
It's today, Your Honor.
Okay. So what's going on, Charles?
Your Honor, we're asking that you dismiss the matter pursuant to the plea agreement that our office has come with the defendant.
In some other file?
Yes.
Counsel?
That's accurate, Your Honor. There's an agreement to a plea in a circuit court case that the client has signed and is scheduled for sentencing in exchange for dismissal of this case.
And I think you did say that you're waiving his appearance. He's in the lockup, right?
Yes, Your Honor. I met with him yesterday as well as already about 15 minutes, about a half an hour ago, and he's aware of what's going on.
I've signed the dismissal of the matter.
Thank you, Your
Thank you,
Honor.
Your Honor.
All right.
I think you need to address the people that are on Zoom who are getting a little bit testy and sending chat messages asking when they're going to be called. We still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cases from this morning call yet.
Well, let's do them.
We're going to, but those parties that are on Zoom that are asking about it are actually only causing distractions.
It's such a mess. Meanwhile, this guy in the bottom left is flat out in bed and not hiding it. The woman above is sideways and in her jammies. I seen her stand up. I guess, but the pants match the shirt. I wouldn't have figured it out, but the pants are matching. And then the woman top right is just having herself some lunch while he's chirping with Katrina. It's a whole thing.
Maybe they should be in here wearing a mask in the room. Maybe they would prefer that. I don't know. Angelica Hernandez versus
Thanks,
Jerika
Rod.
Edwards. This is case number C22G5678LT. Did I already do this case? Who's here?
Hey, Judge.
Who's here on this?
Sarah Callaway.
I'm calling Hernandez versus Edwards. Who's here on this?
Oh, that might be
Don't
good.
raise your hand. You need to unmute so that you can speak to the judge.
Yes, Your Honor, I'm here. Angelica Hernandez.
She raises her hand.
All right.
Both parties are here, Judge. We need the other party.
Identify yourself for the record, defendant.
She just did.
My name is Angelica Hernandez. It's Angelica. Hernandez, Hernandez.
For what it's worth, Angelica, I heard you the first time.
Defendant. Identify yourself.
Jerica Edwards, EKA, last name Edwards, EDWAR.
Okay, I said a minute ago, I thought that I already had this case. Did you guys have a case earlier?
Yes, we did.
Last September to April of this year.
So we're back? We're back?
Yeah, we're back.
Yes, John.
And I have retained Callaway.
I don't believe that.
Who is your lawyer?
She hadn't told me. She did paperwork and sent me the form I needed to sign for them to represent me.
I think her name is Figment, as in figment of her imagination.
So you don't know your lawyer's name?
She didn't tell me what her name was.
How did you find her?
The person with her name is...
Ma'am, listen. It's not that common when somebody goes and hires a lawyer that they don't know the name of the lawyer. So you need to kind of tell me how you got this person.
Plea.
Think she has a bad connection, Your Honor?
It is a bad connection. It's a horrible connection. I'm getting like every fifth word. Can you hear me okay, Ms. Edwards?
I can hear you.
The joys of Zoom. Okay, ma'am. I'm going to adjourn this to November 9th.
Your Honor.
He just adjourns everything. I don't know why we're adjourning. We didn't get anywhere with anything.
And that'll be at 9:15. What were you going to say, Ms. Hernandez?
Oh, well, it's because she told me that she's going to move, and she said that on the 15th she will move, and that was the reason that I filed the papers in court, because I wanted to be sure that she moves out.
Once again, I feel bad for these landlords, but you really need an attorney. You do. You think that it's your place and you should have some rights, and you don't generally in the law. I mean, it's rough, it's skewed, but certainly not in this courtroom. You better have an attorney loaded for bear rolling into here if you want to get your property back.
15th of when? The 15th of what month, ma'am?
October of this month. And I sent
this woman's not going anywhere in 3 days. She said that she made that up along with the fact that she has an attorney. She is going to sit here and ride this and manipulate this judge for the next 18 months.
because she haven't paid her rent again. And she sent me some receipts saying that she called plumbing and she didn't want it to give me the number of the person that made the repairs.
Yeah, because they don't exist, like her attorney.
Because I wanted to speak. I want somebody with license, because she said that she paid and she haven't paid her rent since 3 months already again.
Your Honor, that's not what it is. The refrigerator went, the kitchen sink leaked, the bathroom sink into the basement.
Leave. You said you were leaving on the 15th. Why are you whining about things that don't work? It's not your problem. Go to your beautiful new apartment and enjoy it.
Basement sink went out. I called her sister, which was manager, and I told her what needed to be done. She told me she was out of the tree and the repairs wouldn't be able to be completed until she came back. And it had already went out. So I told her I'll just pay and deducted from the rent. She said, okay, that came up to $2,000. When I sent in the receipts, I didn't hear this back. And then at the end of August, the beginning of September, I received paperwork and a text message from saying that they wanted term. They gave space to try to find a place.
Yeah. Oh, it's rough.
Okay, well, look.
It's rough.
And she said that
You know,
she will
I
move on
don't-
the
there may
15th.
be, excuse me, there may be repair and deduct issues. I don't know yet. But she said that she's retained an attorney. So I'm going to be very curious to see.
I'm not curious at all. I know BS when I hear it, and I just heard some.
What the attorney has to say. Did you say that you were planning to leave by October 15th, Miss Edwards?
Yeah, I told her I needed it till the 15th. Had just was able to first my rent and deposit, and they're talking about the water bill, and I told her I can only do one thing.
Classic liar. Are you leaving on the 15th? Well, I told her I needed to the 15th. Well, that doesn't answer the question. And then the fact that the connection sucks. I'm always suspicious when the connection's bad. It can happen from time to time, but it's always convenient for the person who's doing it.
Okay, your connection is really bad. It's horrible. A lot
And when you do talk, the substance is even worse.
of words were dropping out, so I didn't fully grasp what you're saying. And I'm not going to sit up here and ask you to repeat it because the connection's been bad the whole time. So we'll see everybody November 9th, 9:15 on the Zoom.
At which time nothing else will happen.
With your attorney.
At what time?
As if it matters.
9:15.
Okay.
Ma'am, you need to try to check your connection so you can get a better connection next time.
Okay.
Okay.
And obviously you need to tell your attorney today about when this new date is. Okay,
I
Matt
don't know. He really
Clark
should.
versus Shanice Jackson. Case number C22G5229LT.
Matt Clark is here.
Is
Matt Clark's here to take his punishment for having the audacity to rent a place that he owns.
Shanice Jackson here?
She was at one time.
She was here the last time we were here.
We can't deny it.
Shanice Jackson.
Woman her birthday wish, now can
I
we?
had her checked in at one time today. She does not appear to be in the
Thank you,
any
April.
longer. Unless, wait a second, there's
Happy
somebody on a
birthday.
phone that when I let them in before they just started talking. Who's there on a phone that ends with 5236?
Hello?
Who is that saying hello? Is that Shanice Jackson?
I'm Nora Ann Stewart.
No, we're not ready for your case yet.
Okay.
I'm looking for Shanice Jackson.
I hear that, Judge. That was the only person I couldn't identify. Well, unless that's the Samsung device that doesn't have a name now.
Oh,
One in a green shirt, I think. She's sitting in kind of a dark room with light behind her. I just asked her to.
Glasses.
Meanwhile, the guy in the bottom right's got
Wearing
it all
like
figured out.
is that
I'm
a
just gonna
flower?
nap through this thing.
I don't know. It's a green shirt.
Some kind of red thing on there.
Something on her shoulder.
Okay.
I've clicked on it.
My name is Cheryl Callaway. I'm sitting with the green shirt with the red tag on it.
Okay, Callaway. No, okay. All right, I guess Shanice Jackson isn't here. So let's talk to Matt Clark. Mr. Clark, are you, have you talked to Ms. Jackson?
She has not reached out to me since our last court date.
Why would she?
Have you reached out to her
She knows she's
Yes,
got
sir.
at least 2 years more of dragging it out.
since our last court date?
Yes.
And what happened when you reached out to her?
Nothing.
What does that mean?
She doesn't answer and she doesn't call back.
Does that explain it for you, Judge? Because I understood it.
You filed this as a non-payment of rent case.
He sure did.
And you did not have a rental license when you filed it. That true?
I have a rental license.
Why does he start with an accusation like he's prosecuting him? And you did not have a rental license when you filed it, which, by the way, is wrong. It's just wow.
Here, what my question was. I think you missed the question. You must really have a bad connection.
I think you missed the answer, and I think the question was inappropriate to start with.
At the time you filed this action, did you have a rental license?
Yes.
Okay.
How about sorry?
And when did you go and get your rental license?
August.
August 9th, right?
I don't remember the exact date, no.
Well, if you know, why are you asking me? You got the file in front of you. And why did you start out with the wrong presumption on the issue and start interrogating me about it?
Well, that's the date that I've got.
Okay.
Does that sound close?
Yes.
All right. So are you seeking rent prior to August 9th?
Judge, I would just like my house back at this point. I don't care about the money. I'm clearly not going to get it.
How much is the rent each month, sir?
100.
How much?
700.
700. So that's $23 a day, basically. $23.33.
He does not like landlords.
So how many days has it been since August 10th to?
If only there were a way to find out, like a calendar.
You said 700 a month, so we get October. Has rent been paid for October?
No.
What about September?
No. I haven't got money. No, it's been months, Judge.
Okay. Did she apply for assistance?
I couldn't tell you. That was what you had recommended she try to do on our last court date.
Today will be the 63rd day, Judge.
$1,469. Are you seeking court costs?
Yes, sir.
Seeing 80 in costs. $1,549 she would need to pay to retain the property. That would need to be done by October 24th. You might be liable for money damages. Additional rent is owed. Acceptance of partial payment will stop the writ. No money judgment is entered at this time. And no writ to issue. Without hearing and notice to the defendant. Now note again for the record, she was in the meeting earlier. I don't know if there's a technical issue.
Okay, that right there is him saying, I'm actually going to do something on a case, but I do want the record to reflect that I'm going to change my mind if she shows up and says I have difficulty.
And what's going on? But when we have overloaded Zoom days, I just don't think the system is designed really to handle that.
Zoom is not the problem. May I introduce you to Judge Alex Manning? I want you to see the volume she bangs out in a day, and Zoom holds up just fine, and many others. Cedric Simpson.
So, there's a possession judgment. There you go.
Okay.
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 This is Patricia
He
M.
entered an order of
Smith.
possession. It's a miracle. Que milagro.
Warren versus Smith.
Good morning, Your Honor.
This is case C22G5298. Okay.
Good morning, Judge Habib Gaddis.
This is the morning.
Hearing on behalf of Mr. Warren. Mr. Warren is seated at my left.
Let's see if it's better when he's fresh.
And where is Patricia Marie Smith?
Right here, sir.
Identify yourself for the record.
Patricia Marie Smith.
You know it's gonna go awesome.
Now, there was an occupant by the name of Harger.
I'm right here.
Is she on the call? Identify yourself.
Trista Marie Harger.
Okay. So we adjourned this. What's that, Mr. Gaddis?
Your Honor, if I may, there's also an Anthony Carter that's participating in the Zoom. Since we last appeared in court, Mr. Warren had sold the property by land contract to Anthony Carter. I indicated to Mr. Carter that it would be necessary that he appear or have counsel appear on his behalf. It's my understanding that he is here. We were operating under the premise that to the extent that this is a termination of tenancy, I indicated that I would proceed today, again, with the understanding that I had served the notice to terminate formally on behalf of Mr. Warren, but in as much as Mr. Carter is the new owner, I would be presenting testimony.
I didn't know that you go walking there.
On behalf of Mr. Carter, going forward, at least for purposes of this eviction.
And Anthony Carter is here.
I can't even see him. Okay.
Okay, so this is a mess. The attorney filed an action, but for a different person. Anthony, which is messing me up because there was a famous wide receiver at Michigan called Anthony Carter. But anyway, Anthony Carter is the new owner of the property, but he's not in the action. He's not party to it. it gets ugly.
All right. So Ms. Smith and Harger, I thought you said you were going to go to legal service.
Right. I went to legal service, and when they contacted me back, I was in surgery. And then I was in the hospital from the Monday through Friday got out Friday for my back surgery. And I called yesterday and she would call me back, and then they never called. And then this morning they also said they would call back. They're really overloaded. But I did retain the paperwork and everything through email. So
you don't have an attorney.
Well, let me ask you this. This is a practical question. Are you planning to try to stay at this property or not?
No.
I got email stuff last time.
You're breaking up. You are breaking up. The audio is breaking up. I can't even hear.
It's court hell.
Try it again.
The property. We were understanding that a investor was going to buy the house, and we was able to rent the whole house. That is the emails of the screenshots that I sent in last time. We don't want to stay on this property, but the house was sold like overnight when we were under the standing that we was going to be able to stay here. That's why I had my surgery all scheduled, so I had a place to come back to. We don't want to stay here. We're looking. We just got to find somebody that will accept us.
Tried to get that surgery in before she was homeless. I mean, who talks like this? Oh, God.
Okay. Well, have you all met Anthony Carter yet?
Oh, yeah, we have. Not on good standing.
Pardon me?
Not on good terms either. I came home from surgery and he shut my power off on me. Because he's the one paying the bills when we have offered to give him money while we are still here. He said he don't want to.
I like Anthony's approach here. It's wrong. It's wrong as a matter of law. He's also taking a big drag off his cigarette, but he's just like, I'm cutting your power. That's it. Yeah, I mean, I'll get you in all sorts of trouble, but he doesn't care.
He wants us to find a place.
He doesn't care.
That's fine. But he's cut the water off. He's cut the power off. It is back on now. But I have offered to give him money.
Whoa. Hang on just a second. Hang on. How long was the power off and how long was the water off?
Well, the water, he likes to, I have text messages I can send to you saying you have an hour for the power and it's going to be cut off. The power was turned back on because I had to call the police because I just came back out of surgery.
We've heard,
so that's the only reason why
we've heard the cat jumped on your wiener, your uncle died, and you just got out of surgery. We've heard. But as usual, we're not paying rent, are we?
Mr. Carter, I'm going to give you an opportunity to respond.
When I moved in, before we moved, they didn't have power or water. I was nice to let them have it. And I asked them to come do a property check, and they ignored me. So I was like, I'm not going to pay for power and water if you can't even let me upstairs and make sure the property is okay, that I'll pay for. But when I moved in, they ain't had no power for weeks or water for weeks. I did it as a courtesy and turned it on, being kind, and it getting flipped back on me. But I did not have
to Flint, but
give them power. When I moved in the house, they already didn't have power or water.
The same thing in 360.
Come on, Mr. Carter. Are you serious? You can't possibly be serious when saying that.
Who's serious?
I'm 37, sir.
I didn't hear you what you said. You said you're 37?
Yes, sir.
Can I say something, Your Honor?
No, ma'am. Mr. Carter.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
You couldn't be more wrong. You couldn't be more wrong. If this was property class in law school, you know, this would be the case that they would talk about. You did exactly what the law in Michigan says you can't do. You can't interrupt the utilities or
they didn't have utilities when I moved in. I turned the utilities on. They ain't have none at all.
Well, I don't know. You said you cut the power off. That was on and you cut it off.
Only when I was doing construction on the house and stuff, and I had to.
You didn't say that. You didn't say it that way. Now you're trying to change it. You said
how long the power was
you
off.
said that, sir, come on. I heard what you said.
Yeah.
You were quite proud of the fact that you were quite proud of the fact that you were quote unquote being kind to them, and that they were lucky that you were being kind to turn it back on. That you weren't obligated to.
No,
that's what you said. So I'm not even listen. I heard you as clear. I heard you as clear as day. Okay, so you know, I just you have stumbled into doing exactly what the law says you aren't supposed to. You've stumbled into unwittingly, you know, telling us what you did. So this is what I'm doing. Is the power on or off now? Ma'am, is the power on or off? I'm talking to you, Miss Smith.
She can't respond. The power's off.
Can't hear you. Can't hear you. Maybe the power is off.
We
might be plugged in.
No, we lost. We just lost internet.
Ma'am, I can't even hear you. Your signal is breaking up. Tell you what, you got a telephone? I want to get you on the speakerphone. Do we have a phone number?
That would work wonderful.
No, we got to get a phone number. Try to get.
Your Honor, you would have to ask her for the phone number. I don't.
Let me see if she's got it.
Can you hear me?
Now I can.
Okay, I don't know. I'm at the house, so I'm not going. We're at the house. But can I give you my cell phone number?
Yes.
810-814-5087.
Work any better when she's sitting in the car in front of the house? She can't.
I don't know. We're going. The Zoom is probably. Hang up. We're going to call you on the phone. Okay.
All right. Yep.
Hang up. We're calling you right now.
Okay. I'm.
Disconnect the Zoom. Disconnect the Zoom.
Oh shit.
This is important.
It's such a shit show.
Don't curse on the record, ma'am. Okay?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought it was on the
Yeah, well, you know what? You need to just assume that the mic is hot. Just make that assumption and act as though you're in a nice fancy place where you shouldn't curse and chew tobacco and spit, okay? Okay. Now, ma'am, my question is the power on right now?
Yes, the power is on right now.
Is the water on right now?
Yes.
Okay. Now, Mr. Carter.
A man speaking in the background
At the radio?
on the phone.
Katrina smells a
I
throw.
thought we had two women as the tenants.
It's my heart right here.
Okay.
There's someone else you're hearing that has a very low male voice.
Why is the reporter talking?
Did they say something audible that we have to transcribe?
I don't know. It sounds like they're speaking to her while she's supposed to be listening and speaking to you, Judge.
Okay, shut your hole.
Anyway, move on. Mr. Carter?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Do not interrupt any utilities or take any other action like that basically constitutes constructive eviction.
Yeah.
There's a state law that has been on the books for over 50 years that talks about this sort of thing. And if you...
He just said with a straight face to Anthony Carter, do not take any actions that constitute a constructive eviction. Judge doesn't even know what those are. Anthony Carter sure as hell doesn't.
You are not aware of what the laws are. And I mean, it sounds like you're a new landlord. Is that accurate?
I'm not a landlord. I was buying this house to stay in. I'm not trying to be a landlord.
Okay.
I bought this house.
All right. Well,
I'm in this house.
now your signal is going out. Now his signal.
I live here.
I didn't hear most of what you said because your signal is...
I said, I'm not trying to be a landlord. I live here.
Okay. Well, look, you bought the property while this case is going on. So,
correct.
Mr. Goddess.
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the reality is...
It just gets crazier and
it was
crazier.
filed as a termination of tenancy case. And the fact of the matter is, Mr. Goddess, you know, your client, you know, really can be out of it if he wants to. And I guess I'm not sure. Is that what you're saying?
Well, Your Honor, to the extent that the termination had been issued and my understanding was that the tenants were going to vacate, but obviously they haven't. I indicated to the new buyer that as a courtesy, although I'm not representing them as legal counsel, I was prepared to give testimony as to the issuance of the notice to terminate and the fact that the complaint was filed. And again, technically, my client no longer has an interest, but you know, to the extent that this matter has been pending, I offer.
Translation, they just sold the property to Anthony Carter. They said that the tenant was going to move out, so you'll have the premises to yourself, but the tenant wasn't out. They lied to Anthony Carter, not specifically them, but the tenant. And now, and they had previously filed to try to get these people out to clear it for the new buyer, namely Anthony Carter. He proceeded with the closing anyway, and now they're mid litigation on this, and Anthony Carter is not party to it. I know it's boring, but it's a freaking mess. And I'll give it to this attorney. He's standing by his word, and he's here trying to testify on his behalf and also trying to get the judge to do the right thing, but he can't. And he doesn't have the leverage to do it right now.
To serve as a witness on behalf of Mr. Carter.
Well, but the other problem is Mr. Carter hasn't been added to the case as a plaintiff.
It is a problem.
You know,
I'm with you there, Judge. So Anthony Carter is now seeking relief, and he's not party to the action. He really shouldn't be able to say anything whatsoever.
That problem as well.
What he needs to do is get an attorney and file some action.
That is a practical problem.
It is. I agree.
But
Judge is right.
So, Mr. Carter, you know, you're going to have to decide if you want to try to substitute in or become a co-plaintiff with Mr. Warren before I can really, let you in the case.
Your Honor, may I be heard?
But what's that?
May I be
Go
heard?
ahead.
I'm wondering whether it might make some sense to adjourn this matter so as to allow Mr. Carter an opportunity to retain counsel. Again, it would be unfortunate, again, to have a dismissal, albeit without prejudice, in as much as the time has elapsed and the fees have been paid. To the extent that there may be any technical questions going forward, it might make some sense to allow, and again, Mr. Carter, you can pipe up, but my suggestion is that the matter be adjourned for a week to the extent that the court would allow that, or it's consistent with the court schedule, to give you an opportunity to seek out an attorney,
correct,
so as to further proceed with this matter as distinguished from the complaint being dismissed and to have you start over again. So that would be my recommendation. If the court is inclined to grant that request, it would be incumbent upon you to seek out an attorney as soon as possible so that the matter can proceed.
Well, Mr. Carter, I'm going to let you ponder that.
Yeah, ponder.
Now, to the defendants.
Ponder that.
I am going to let you go forward with talking to legal services, and I'm going to adjourn this to...
Legal services is not going to help him. He just bought a place, thereby disqualifying him from legal services. He needs to go get an attorney, like an adult. He can do it. He will do it if he wants to have his house free and clear to enjoy.
And wait, Mr. Carter, is there more than one unit in this property? That's what I guess I didn't get.
Yes, sir.
So you're in one unit, and Miss
Absolutely.
Smith is in another unit?
Yes,
It's like
sir.
a duplex? It's a duplex.
It's something like it's a single family home, but it's different. We share the same water, furnace, everything. So they can't pay for nothing. I'm paying for all their bills.
Well, Mr. Carter, I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. And maybe it would have...
Judge Maribel's finally come around because he said, I'm not a landlord. I just wanted to own the property myself. I don't want a landlord. He finally feels sympathy for him. That dropped his anti-landlord bias, and he can look at the case a new way.
Been a good idea for you to have made your purchase effective, after the property was empty or whatever, but...
Excellent advice after the fact, Judge, but you are correct.
I'll just say, you're coming in the middle, and so, you're going to have to deal with the situation knowing that. It's a whole lot messier, when you come in and buy the property when the litigation is starting.
I didn't know. They supposed when I bought the property, was told they would be out in a week. So I went on and bought the property.
I believe that. That's what he was told, and he really believed as he was purchasing that. And the seller's like, oh, yeah. They told us they're going to be out in a week, no problem. I just went through this. I just sold a property myself, and it was held up because the tenant wouldn't leave. And they said, nope, we're not taking possession until you get rid of the tenant. So I've been through it.
That's what I was told. They wasn't gonna be here. So they said they was leaving. They even told me when I first came they was leaving by that Saturday. They will be moved out. So I went on and bought it in good faith because I figured the process already been started. They said they had one more court date and I needed a place to stay. So I bought it instead of written.
Well, I'm going to adjourn. Listen, I'm going to adjourn this to November 9th. Okay. And at that point, if legal services is going to get involved, they need to be here. If you're going to hire an attorney, he or she needs to be here. If you're going to represent yourself,
no,
you need to have
Other
filed
property,
a proper motion, well before that to ask to join in. But it's a messy situation, and so we'll see where we are on November 9th at 9:00 on Zoom.
Well, there you go. There you go. A big, bold hour of power. A mirable parable. I was watching it. I'm like, I don't know how to condense this. I took out a lot of gaps too. That was actually smoother than in reality. But it was still so fun. I was watching it. When she was giving the email address and she said, what did she say? D is an apple. Which is hilarious itself, but then after she said that, clears the bell, and then Judge Marable says, "What's this? G is an apple." I about lost it. Oh, all of it. Judge Marable just wants to stick it to the landlords. In his defense, a lot of landlords don't know what they're doing, and they do dumb things. That is true. They really should get attorneys and do all that stuff. But he starts with the supposition that the landlord has committed a felony. That's the opening position in Marable's courtroom. The landlord will come in as a petitioner saying, "Hey, I'd like my place back. They haven't paid me for 6.5 years," and he starts with the accusations on the landlord. Now, the landlords usually are doing something wrong. I will say that. They usually don't file the paperwork right. They usually do something stupid along the way or whatever. But the fact that the tenants are just despicable and lying and not paying rent, that doesn't faze him one bit. He says nothing about that. It's hard to watch, but it is hilarious. It's hilarious as long as it's not you. I feel bad. Anybody in Genesee County. I mean, I wouldn't purchase property there for many reasons, but I sure wouldn't purchase property there for the notion of renting, because you can't enforce contracts. So that's what you're dealing with, and that's not all that atypical. There are a lot of places. I mean, I've been a landlord in Cook County, and that ain't great either. But trust me on this. I've done it in Collier counties here, and that's a lot better, depending. But it does make a big difference. The laws the laws in place where you purchase real estate. Oh, good Lord! I'm not trying to do anything educational. There's nothing educational. Strike that last comment. Strike that from the record. There's no attempt at education. This is just a Zen experience. That's all. It's just a Marable parable. Let's not try to take lessons from it, shall we? Thank you all for hanging with me. I will see you all soon.